Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. The court case is about to start in about, 2 hours? So hopefully I'll be able to get into that and listen in and update you on all the things that happened today. But there was a news I released in the early hours of this morning, and it was regarding the whole Microsoft being able to pick up more companies as they weren't done with ZeniMax, and one of them was Sega. And I actually believe Sega is actually a really good idea and one that they should pursue, especially in the light of, making a foothold in Japan. However, as it turns out from that video, I received a lot of backlash, a lot of very not so nice messages into my inbox on Twitter. So guys, if any of you are doing that, please stop. I'm only just going to report it to the relevant departments and you're going to lose your account. So it's really not worth it. Telling me to, end my life isn't exactly the best way to go about it. So, there are repercussions for your actions, especially when people are doing it with their main accounts on Twitter. It's stupid. Just stop. It's a video game. But anyway, it turns out that there really was nothing to worry about, as the second half of this document has materialized. And it basically, despite all the commotion on the internet regarding how Microsoft is trying to buy everyone and take over the landscape, and they're going to make everything exclusive and take everything away from PlayStation, that's actually now being completely disproven, and it actually adds more weight to their case regarding Call of Duty. So, in a weird way, the gotcha moment that the people were thinking they had with the release of these documents actually has the complete opposite effect, and it's now supporting Microsoft in a much stronger way, and has actually made the FTC's case of disproving what they're saying even more powerful. So we went through this yesterday, right up to this point, to the classic AP. Now, as you can see here, Sega overview. Based in Tokyo, Japan, Sega is one of the largest and most recognizable publishers in the world. I agree. It is an iconic home console, especially with Sonic the Hedgehog as a franchise. It is a division of Sega Sammy, a publicly traded company that operates in several other businesses, including pachinko machines and resorts. Sega's consumer gaming studios have a proven portfolio that includes global console depth and back catalog. Sega's console portfolio spans generations and contains some of the industry's most recognizable franchises, including Sonic the Hedgehog, Megami Tensei, and Yakuza. Yakuza was one of the ones I mentioned yesterday. Global PC catalog. Sega has, through its own studios and acquired ones, established expertise at developing and publishing high-quality, deeply engaging PC content that would greatly enhance a gaming subscription service, including pay-to-play titles such as Football Manager and Total War, as well as free-to-play titles like Phantasy Star Online 2, which is doing relatively okay, especially with the new update. It's actually starting to pick its momentum up. Mobile presence in Asia. This is a big one for Microsoft. Remember, Sega has a notable presence in Asia, particularly in Japan, via mobile-first games, around 250 million in 2019, often as extensions of their existing IP. They've had multiple Sonic games, and they've pretty much been cash cows for them. Now the value drivers. Now this is a key one here, right? We believe an acquisition of Sega's consumer division would drive strategy and economy value for Microsoft through Game Pass, because they're going to take all those games away from Sony and Nintendo and PC. Well, not PC. Subscription exclusivity of current and future releases will improve Game Pass appeal and value to players. Naturally, this will result in new subscriptions across console, PC, and cloud. Further, the global appeal of Sega's beloved IP will help expand Xbox Game Pass's reach to new audiences around the world, namely, drumroll please, Japan! Most notably in Asia, of course, Asia, Japan, you know what I'm saying, where localized content is critical to success. Game transactions is the third one. Now this one here is the absolute key that pretty much is the mic drop, right? That basically completely and 100% discredits anything that's being said out there right now on Twitter. We will continue to sell acquired games and franchises across all game platforms. That includes PlayStation, that includes Nintendo, that includes wherever the games are available. Previously unavailable titles, however, on Xbox that were exclusive and withheld by Sony and withheld by Nintendo for exclusive games so the Xbox fanbase couldn't play them, will be brought over to the platform for additional monetization opportunities. Crazy how that happens, right? So by them picking up SEGA, not only are they still going to keep every single game that was originally and future release on all platforms, nothing is actually going to change in that department. Just all of those games are going to be available day one in Game Pass. So they're going to make bank through those subscriptions on Game Pass and milk the third parties like Sony and Nintendo for even more money. And future titles will no longer observe a delay of launching on Xbox. And who's causing that delay of launching a game on Xbox, I wonder? I'll leave that for you to decide. Next steps, if SA received, the broader working team will investigate the following questions in parallel and any additional concern you might have. Detailed post-acquisition integrity plan, financial modeling, yada, yada, yada. Now, if you ask me personally, I think SEGA is a fantastic option for Microsoft, but I do believe that that game transaction part there is the key to this whole thing. Now, SEGA is a beloved franchise. You know, a company is... A lot of people have their childhoods built up with Sonic the Hedgehog and so forth. And, you know, I'm personally against a company like that becoming a first-party IP. So the fact that they are, you know, they want to, as part of the deal that they're buying this company is to keep them third-party, all their games third-party, and to bring all of their catalog into Game Pass, which instantly bolsters the value of Game Pass, making it way more lucrative. And on top of that, bring games that the Xbox community hasn't actually had for such a long time, because they've been exclusive either to Nintendo or to PlayStation. Bringing those games over to the Xbox community for the first time, how can that be a bad thing? Now, I know what people are going to say. Well, what happens if they change their mind? They're buying this with a legally binding contract on the basis of this being a thing. Can you imagine what will happen to them if they decide to actually go against that legally? You think the FTC is being a dog at the moment, and the CMA and the regulators around the world are being... Did you see what happened to Google and how much they had to split their company and divest and get torn to pieces? Yeah. Do you really think Microsoft wants to go through that? Do you? Because I seriously don't. But yeah, it looks like this actual deal with SEGA, if it's on the cards even anymore, I don't know. I think it would actually be a really, really good thing. It would bolster Game Pass, and it means that all those games are still going to be available day one. The whole catalog of games that come from SEGA, day one, on parity, on all platforms. What is the community losing here? Other than the fact that Game Pass just becomes an even better deal. I don't know. You let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you think this is a good thing, bad thing? Is there any negatives to this that I'm missing? Because if there is, I'd like to know. I mean, the only negative I can see from here is that they are officially going to be owned by Microsoft, and I can see that, and I can see the irony in that, and I can understand the fact that, you know, this may create problems for day one releases because Sony's already said that they will not supply PS6 dev kits to Activision if they're bought by Microsoft. So this may actually pass on to Sega as well. But at that point, I think what will likely happen is some form of arrangement where Microsoft literally has to create or just keep these companies separate away from Microsoft, so that they're still operating under their own entity, a bit like how Bethesda is right now. Bethesda, even though the CEO is Phil Spencer, is a separate entity to Xbox. They have their own they're, you know, their own entity, their own independence. Much like Bungie, where they are owned by Sony, that is their parent company, but they are independent. And I think that these companies will remain the same. And in that regard, if any dev kits go to them, well, they could be, you know, rules in place to prevent Microsoft from actually looking at that or investigating that, or, you know, you can see what I'm saying. They can put things in place to prevent such things from happening. But that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. But do you think Sega would be a good buy for Microsoft? Would you like to see the host of Sega games on a Game Pass-like subscription? The chances are the more of these games coming on Game Pass, the more that price for Game Pass is going to go up. But are you willing to pay more for Game Pass if there's a lot more quality on Game Pass? That is the question you have to ask yourself. This $9.99, $10.99, $11.99, whatever it is that you're paying, it's not going to stick around for longer. The more companies that sign on to Game Pass, the more companies that put their games onto Game Pass, especially like whole breadth catalogs like this, that money has to be recouped somehow. Keeping games third party is one of those ways. By putting them on other platforms, that is 100%, you know, a method of doing that, which kind of makes it weird how they do have certain games exclusive, because you kind of want to maximize your profit. So that part there slightly goes against what Microsoft is saying, but I also understand that they're kind of a bit annoyed, I guess, and it's a knee-jerk reaction to keep certain games exclusive to Xbox. And I think for the longest time, with people saying Xbox has no games, I guess it might have rubbed the brass the wrong way. So careful what you tease at, is all I'm going to say. I know these people are worth millions in terms of what they earn, but they can still get rubbed the wrong way and do things that just won't benefit you. And as the community has found out, Sony decided that it's going to try and make every Bethesda game exclusive, so they just went and bought Bethesda out. Shit happens, right? But that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I'll see you in the next one. But yeah, guys, please, seriously, be responsible. Don't be silly. I don't want to wake up in the morning after 4 or 5 hours of sleep when I'm making content to find stuff like that in my inbox. It's not nice for me, and it's not nice for anyone else that might see it. Right, that's it. Remain legend.